Hello, everyone. For those that are watching this somewhere in the world, my name is Rick Albert. I'm a real estate broker with America Real Estate, and this is the first ever episode of reaching out to the community. So we're going to interview different local businesses, see how they're operating, especially right now with COVID. It's such an interesting time. So my first guests ever are Conor and Hannah Smith. Gemini Bakehouse. Food's amazing. I did order it the other day. The coffee cake was great. The bagels were great. What was the fruit tart called again?
It's like a brioche fruit bun. So it's like our jam that we make, our brioche and local fruit from the farmer's market.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, that was like the first thing I went for.
Yeah.
Like hands down. So I was going to get started. So tell us about your background. Where'd you both come from? That sort of deal.
Sure. So we're both born and raised in the Valley. I'm from Granada Hills. She was born in Simi
Valley.
But we both kind of grew up in that area. And let's see, we met at a bakery in Agora Hills where we both, it was my first bakery job. She had just moved back from culinary school in Rhode Island at Johnson & Wales. And so that was our first interaction. You know, we spent hours in the middle of the night making challah together.
Like that's literally how we met. Like a butcher block braiding thousands of challahs for 8 hours across from each other.
Oh, nice. I'm a big challah fan.
That's good.
It's so good. That'll probably be the next one.
Yeah, and then after we worked there, we both kind of went to different places, and I ended up chasing Hannah to another restaurant that she was working at called Bottega Louie downtown.
Okay.
So kind of worked together down there for a little bit, and just kept chasing her
until twins
happened.
Good reason.
Yeah. So we had the twins, and now we're doing it. You know.
Well, how did Gemini Bakehouse get started? Like, well, whose idea was it? What was the kind of thought process behind it?
Yeah. So we've both always had the dream of opening up our own business, you know, and, you know, we're both super passionate about baking and bread and pastry respectively. And so it's kind of something that's always been there. And we've always kind of, you know, talked about it in sort of a hypothetical circumstance, you know, and COVID happens, you know, and she got furloughed she was working as a pastry instructor at a school in Pasadena.
Yeah.
I was a production manager for a wholesale bakery in Culver City, and we both got furloughed. And I guess I should backtrack because we started making the bread while I was still working. We started making bread to raise money for the Lee Initiative and the Restaurant Workers Relief Fund. So we were just doing it like initially strictly as like just a fundraising
as charity
opportunity, you know. And then I didn't get furloughed till later on in the pandemic until May.
Okay.
And so we had continued to be making bread and trying to raise money for different charities or different causes, different organizations, and the demand just kind of kept increasing, and we kind of had this, you know, ideas like if we've always wanted to do this, and if not now, then when, you know, it's like we have the time right now, we have the demand, so like let's just go for it, you know, and put our heads down. And it's been cool so far, you know, and it's turning this whole strange time in everybody's life into as positive and be as productive as possible, you know.
I think, and maybe I'm wrong, but it's like kind of like innovation is bred out of necessity.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right. I think Airbnb started during the recession because the guy couldn't make any money, so he started posting his couch on Craigslist for people to crash there.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so I can really appreciate the hustle.
For sure. I mean, you gotta, you know, you got kids to feed, you got
bills to pay.
It's time to do something, you know.
And we're also like doing what we love, and we're for the first time like making products that really showcases like his bread and my pastry, but like together it's turned into like such a special thing for everybody around us. Plus now everybody in Los Angeles, which has been so special.
Yeah, for sure. So whose recipes are they? Just your own recipes, stuff you've learned over time?
It's
kind of a little bit of both, you know. I mean, like through the years, you work at so many different places, and
You take what you love from one place and what you
Sure.
don't like about that recipe. And I think with like 10 years of experience, you know what to like change in a recipe.
Got it.
And
Okay.
science.
Yeah, right.
Science.
It's an art
It's
form
not-
with a little bit of
it's not all
science.
It's a lot of love,
for
passion.
sure, for
Yeah.
sure. But it's definitely like, you know, from getting, you know, having the opportunity, we both had the opportunity to work for like really well ran and like really successful operations, you know, and so we're very lucky, and also we just have a unique sort of perspective because we've been in all of these very unique and different sort of operations, and learning from them what works and what doesn't work, and trying to build something that still has our brand, our identity in it, you know, but utilizing all of these trials that everybody else has had. We've had the opportunity to learn from their mistakes, you know what I mean, and figure it out and build off of that, you know. So it's really cool, and all of our, at the end of the day, all of our recipes are our own, you know.
That's great.
With you know certain places having different influence on them.
Yeah.
Of course. Where did the name come from? The Gemini Bakehouse.
Oh man.
Oh.
No, it's always. Oh
I was like,
man.
oh no,
No.
fortune cookie, we're done. Like,
It's good. This is what we're gonna. No, there's a bunch of meanings. You showed him the
Okay.
first meaning.
Well, so like the first, like when was it during quarantine? No, it was before.
No.
So like Hannah,
It was like my birth. It was a birthday present.
I bought Hannah a tattoo machine for her birthday because we both like tattoos, and
yeah.
but she was like an artist and a beautiful painter, and does a lot of really cool stuff, and he was like, you know, she wanted a tattoo machine, so there's one on Amazon, got it, you know.
of course, why not?
Why
not?
everyone
Reviews.
does
It was
it.
Amazon's choice.
Yeah. Everyone's buying it.
But so got her a machine, and she was like, you know, drawn to give you like plastic skin, like practice skin to like tattoo on, and like it's not the real thing, you know what I mean? And so she wanted to tattoo a real person, and so that's gonna be me.
There he is on the couch.
Of course, because who else would it be?
He's already covered.
Right. So the first tattoo she gave me was, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. There it is.
That's amazing.
That was the first one she ever gave me.
It's really not, but that's my first tattoo I've ever done.
First one, and I'm stoked on it. It's my favorite tattoo for sure.
Good answer.
But but like as you can see, it's just like an eye with a diamond as a pupil and a little crown and stuff, and I just really love it, and it's, you know, and because she gave it to me, it's just that much more special, and that kind of became sort of like the logo that we wanted to run with. So this, like, a slightly different iteration of that is the logo that we used. It also was the first part of the very corny dad joke version of the name, which is, it's a gem in an eye.
Nice. Hey everyone, so sorry to interrupt the video. Real quick, two things. One, if you like what you're watching or listening to, please give it a like, follow, subscribe, wherever social media platform you're watching it on. Please, I'd love the support. Plus, it allows other people to see the content as well. And two, of course, if you need anything in the real estate world, buying, selling, or investing, feel free to reach out to me. I'm on all the major social media platforms at Rick B. Albert. Thank you so much, and let's continue watching. Puns. I really like puns.
Yeah.
So as far as the bakery is concerned, what is literally like your bread and butter?
Oh no.
Or like, what is your top seller? What are some of your guys' favorites of customers?
I think even if we were to like look at the numbers of how much we've sold and I get like the actual like amount of things that we've sold and like what like we're both passionate about, it's 100% our sourdough,
Okay.
just our loaf of sourdough, our pan loaf, and our pies. We don't use any additives or anything in anything, so the sourdough just speaks true to like our starter that we take a lot of care in, and then our pies, we don't add, it's like the fruit, we taste the fruit. So we make the fruit like the star of the pie. And both of them are just like kind of speak for themselves. It's kind of like the response that we've gotten from both of them is like, this is what sourdough is supposed to taste like. And that this is what I remember pie being.
Got it.
And we also try and make our shit somewhat like on the affordable end in some way, because we are using like great products, but making them accessible to everybody.
Which is nice, right? Oftentimes, like artisan restaurants, artisan bakeries, they charge double or triple because they know they can, but then we'll call it like the average person doesn't get access to that, some of that great food. So it's nice to be able to provide.
For sure. And right, and that's kind of where our experience comes into play as well, because we're both from a very like high production, high end sort of backgrounds. So what we've been able to do is, I mean, source our ingredients, source the highest quality ingredients we can for the lowest price, as well as minimizing any and all overhead. So I mean, it just being Hannah and I as the only employees, and we rent a small kitchen in Pasadena, but we sort of mitigate all the other costs from the very beginning. So at the end of the day, we can offer a superior product, in our opinion, at a rate that most people can afford. You know,
Right.
Nobody wants to spend $15 on a loaf of bread. You know.
Right. So if
15 loaves, like $15 on a loaf of bread, or like $50 on a pie, like it hurts. Like when I'm like what? But so just that middle ground of you are getting the best quality, like ingredients that we can buy.
Right. So if someone were to go, because I'm assuming because you don't really have a store location, so everyone orders online, right? That's the primary like source where people go to, they place their orders, you do deliveries, all that. If I'm new to this, what should be the first thing I order? What should I try first? Is it the sourdough? Is it the pie? Is it something else? Is it, you know, some of the boxes you guys offer?
That's kind of the idea of the boxes. It's like an intro to the bakery. So you get to try sourdough and then a brioche product. So, and jam. So you kind of get a little bit of everything in the bread box.
Right.
I think.
Right. It's like the brunch box kind of introduce you to our pastry selection and kind of give you an idea of what we do, and also maybe allow you to try something that you wouldn't otherwise have ordered initially, you know. So kind of open up the horizons a little bit, but then also give you an idea of what it is we do and help you start to understand. So like the brunch box is kind of more pastry forward, and then the bread box, which kind of allows you to start delving into the bread products, you know. And it's for me, it's cool because like being in the bakery scene a long time, it's kind of there's the artisan, like handmade beautiful loaves, and then there's the store-bought bread, you know. And one of our goals, I think, is to kind of help people like unlearn the Wonder Bread, you know what I mean? And like present something that's you know, that still has a similar look to it, you know, like you still can get like your bit, but also kind of like, so bring you into that world, understand that there is, you know, higher quality and stuff that won't make you feel so gross or heavy, or even if you're like diabetic, it's much easier to consume. And then you can do that and then also start to expand into the rest of the world, because there is a whole bread and pastry world out there that a lot of people have yet to experience. And you know, there's a lot of intricacies in the simplicity, and so it's fun to get one of those boxes and then kind of start to explore a little deeper into the bread and pastry world.
Yeah.
Got it. It's like an intro to Gemini Bakehouse.
Yeah.
So
intro to bread theory.
There you go. There you go. It worked. So because kind of what we talked about before, everything kind of got started because of COVID. Do you feel like COVID's actually helped your business because of how you've had to adapt? Has it not helped because it's harder to get storefront? Like, how has COVID kind of how has everything kind of affected your business?
I mean, at the end of the day, I think because of COVID, we've been able to sort of realize our dreams in a way that we wouldn't have done as early on in our careers. You know what I mean? So in a way, it's been, incredibly stressful and super scary
Sure.
because it's like you're just.
The mega
We also like have no idea what we're doing. You know what I mean? Like we've been like working for other people and doing this, and like here we go. Like let's just do it. So I think it's been, for us, it's just been a kick in the ass, and it's like just go for it. And so it's been good for us. It's also offered us an audience or a clientele that may have otherwise not been as intrigued initially or been willing to give these places a chance, because the sort of pop-up culture within Los Angeles has kind of blossomed in a way that's super interesting. It's like it's almost like the 60s in music, it's like there's this really bad thing with the war going on, this super interesting sort of counterculture blossoms out of it. And that's kind of what's been happening in LA, is like there's a lot of hardships and closures and stuff in food in LA, but it's kind of allowed for this blossoming of all these people and interesting minds and creative chefs to create something that they may have otherwise not had the opportunity to. So while it's been hard and scary, it's also been like a great blessing, and it's helped us really get off the ground and kind of get ourselves in the mix,
Yeah, well, it's almost like it's created an easier barrier to entry.
Right? Yeah.
Right. It definitely opened up. There was more avenues because of it,
Yeah, for sure. So on your Instagram page, you mentioned that you're community focused. So what exactly, what does that mean by
So I'd say we're community focused. I mean, from the very start, I mean, our very first goal with this little bakery was to uplift and try to contribute to the people that are coworkers, our friends, our peers that have lost their jobs and weren't able to go to work because of this. And so the idea of giving back is kind of built in to the structure, to the foundation of our business. So like, I mean, right now it's everything. Ultimately, like our goal is to kind of keep everything to scale. So as we grow, we want our contribution to the community that's allowing us to live out our dream. We want to be able to contribute equally.
But great, and we can drop it off at these like community fridges. We also, like, outside of our house, we created a community bread basket, so that the community can come and like grab bread whenever they want, like on us.
Nice. Sorry, you cut out for like a second there. Can you rewind back what you guys do for the community? I got the community box out front, but what was some of the other stuff you guys do?
Gotcha. So we like contribute to, there's like called community fridges around Los Angeles, which are like different organizations. There's one called the People's Bodega, as well as a bunch of others that are just doing really cool work and developing spaces with fridges and pantries for people to just come and get what they need, if it's essentials, hygiene products, food, water, produce. So we've been trying to like help out with those as much as we can, and just raise money where we can. But like ultimately, our goal is, as we continue to grow and as we need to start employing people and expanding the business. Our goal is to help people that may be underrepresented in the industry. As people with disabilities and also people with maybe who have troubled past that are trying to right themselves and find a purposeful way to move forward. And if we can offer people who don't have the opportunities that the rest of us have to not only like have a job that pays enough to put food on the table, but also like receive job training and to build a career, because this industry has been very good to us. It's very hard, but I feel like like the concept of the American dream thrives in the bakery setting. And so to have the opportunity to help people who want better for themselves that may not be able to find that elsewhere is kind of going to be at the forefront of where we are as we continue to grow.
Oh, that's amazing. So what advice would you give for small business owners or people who want to do what you're doing? Not necessarily in the baking world, just like, hey, I want to leave my 9-to-5 job.
Oh.
I've already lost my job. What basic advice would you give them?
Do it. Just do it. Like I mean,
Do
that's
it.
like the hardest part. The hardest part of any of it is just like doing it. Don't half it. Like if you have to go into and you have to be fully committed and believe in yourself and what it is that whatever your service is or your goods, and have something good. And if you know it's good in your heart, then you just have to go for it. Because if you never do, nothing will ever happen, you know. And so it's the scariest part, but the scariest part is jumping, you know. And then after you jump, it's fun. It's fun and it's scary still, but it's like the unknown is exciting, you know what I mean? And it's so fulfilling. It feels really good to kind of pursue your dream, you know, and really do it and see it become a thing. And even at whatever scale we're at right now, it's so much more already than I had ever anticipated, and it's so much more fulfilling. And I think that's just it's worth overcoming that fear, you know. But for sure, like just doing it is probably the hardest part.
And I think for us, I think like the people that are really passionate about food in general, just like our main core thing is if we can deliver something safely to you right now and truly make your day better or put a smile on your face, then all the hard work that we're doing, it makes all the hard stuff during our week, like when you post a picture of you having the brunch box, that makes what we're doing so much easier. And like that's why we do it. So like we do it to like make you happy, and the people that get like our hamburger buns and the people bodega, that makes them happy. And so it's this like positivity, just like cloud that drives us.
Yeah, and then that goes to the other thing, like don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Like don't be afraid to be vulnerable, you know, because again, that's a lot of part of the fear too, is like the ego of like, well, what if it doesn't work out? Like, you know, a lot of what ifs, do I not look, you know, is a bad look, blah, blah, blah. It's like, don't be too cool. Like, don't be too cool. Like, go for it. And like ask questions and be shameless, you know, like I have no shame as when it comes to the business at this point. Like if I have something that I think that can benefit somebody and then their business or something can benefit me, then like I have no shame, you know. Like,
and like, let's do it together.
Like, no ego, you know, it's like just be vulnerable and be willing to put yourself out there.
Oh, for sure. I think for a lot of people, when I talk to them, it's kind of like it's either the fear of like success or the fear of failure. There's something that always holds them back. But to your point, it's like you just kind of jump into it. It's like worst case scenario, you learn something. Right? So,
yeah. You know?
I mean, and how many times do people say like you can't live in fear?
Right.
If you live in fear, nothing comes out of living in fear. So if we run on this like positivity train, which sounds so cliche, yeah, it sounds, but it's so true that your true goal, like for the people you work with and the people you're providing for, is positivity and happiness, then I think success is at the end of that.
For sure. That's amazing. Well, that's a good way to kind of end the conversation. I appreciate you guys coming on here. How can people find you? How can people find this amazing food? Where should they be going?
Yeah, so you can find a list of our products and everything that we do at GeminiBakehouse.com. Okay. Follow us on Instagram at Gemini Bakehouse, and you can see
our fun stories.
Fun stuff, you know, bakery in action. Sometimes there's some babies in there if you're into that. But yeah, it's been. I'm sorry for the connection issues, man. But I appreciate you having us. It's been fun.
Yeah. Absolutely. So we'll obviously keep in touch. Might as well do this again. I'll order more food, and then we can do a review, like an unboxing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much again for doing this.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank
you
you so much,
much.
Rick. Appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.